There comes a point in life when you look around and realize you've been surviving battles you never thought you could face. You've walked through storms that tried to drown you, carried weights that should have broken you, and yet here you are. Breathing, standing, still showing up, still believing, even if that belief has been shaken. You've been telling yourself you're tired, that you can't take one more thing, but the truth is, you've already made it through so much more than you give yourself credit for. You are stronger than you think. Strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, "I'll try again tomorrow." Sometimes it looks like getting out of bed when your heart feels heavy. Sometimes it looks like smiling when no one knows you're crying inside. It's not always loud and it's not always visible, but it's always there. The kind of strength that you have isn't measured by how loud you shout or how much you can carry at once. It's measured by your persistence in the quiet moments. The moments when no one is watching, but you keep choosing to fight, to grow, to keep going anyway. You've been through situations that could have hardened your heart, but instead they deepened your compassion. You've faced rejection that could have made you bitter, but instead it made you wiser. You've endured seasons where you had to be your own encourager, your own motivator, your own reminder that quitting was not an option. And that's what makes you strong, not because you didn't break, but because you broke and rebuilt yourself stronger. You've learned how to bend without snapping, how to cry without giving up, how to keep faith alive even when everything around you feels dark. You might not see it, but there's a fire inside you that has survived every storm. You've doubted yourself, but your actions prove that deep down. There's still belief burning in you. You've carried pain with grace, fought battles in silence, and held on when letting go would have been easier. That's strength, not perfection, not control, just the raw, unfiltered courage to keep showing up to your own life, even when you don't have all the answers. Sometimes you think you're weak because you feel pain. But strength isn't the absence of pain, it's the ability to keep moving through it. You are not fragile, you are forged. Every tear, every setback, every sleepless night has been shaping something powerful within you. You've been training for resilience without even realizing it. The pressure didn't come to crush you, it came to reveal you, to remind you that there's a version of you that doesn't quit, a version that doesn't bow to fear, a version that rises even with trembling hands. You may not feel strong every day, but that doesn't mean you aren't. Strength doesn't always feel good. It often feels like resistance. It feels like being stretched, refined, and tested. But every time you choose to stand up, to try again, to keep hope alive, you're proving your strength. You've already overcome what others would have folded under. You've already outlasted the pain that once convinced you you couldn't survive. And if you did it before, you can do it again. So don't let your current struggle make you forget your past victories. Don't let fear convince you that you're powerless. You are stronger than you think, not because life has been easy, but because you kept going when it wasn't. You've faced the fire and found your faith. You've walked through the storm and discovered your strength. You've endured the breaking and become unbreakable. You don't need to wait for someone to tell you you're strong. You've already proven it simply by still being here, still standing, still believing that your story isn't over yet. Strength is not loud, it's found in quiet endurance. The world often paints strength as something bold and visible, someone shouting their victories, standing tall in confidence, or conquering mountains in full display. But true strength doesn't always look like that. Sometimes strength is silent. It's not found in what you show the world, but in what you survive when no one is watching. It's the decision to keep moving forward when everything inside you is begging to stop. It's in the long nights when you hold yourself together, whispering, "I'll be okay," even when you're not sure you believe it. That's strength, the kind that doesn't need to prove itself, but still keeps showing up. Quiet endurance is the kind of power that grows in the shadows. It's developed in the seasons where nothing seems to change, where prayers feel unanswered, and where progress feels invisible. Yet somehow you keep holding on. You keep showing up to the process. You keep believing that even if you can't see the finish line, there's something ahead worth walking toward. That's not weakness. That's a strength most people overlook. The loud kind of strength gets celebrated, but the quiet kind, the kind that chooses faith over fear, the kind that stays steady in uncertainty, that's the strength that changes lives. It's not about pretending to be okay or wearing a mask to hide the pain. Quiet endurance isn't denial, it's discipline. It's the choice to stay rooted even when the storm is raging. It's the decision to respond with peace when chaos demands panic. It's knowing that you don't have to announce your struggle or broadcast your healing for it to be real. True strength doesn't need validation. It's the quiet confidence that says, I don't need the world to see me winning to know I'm growing. There's something sacred about the strength that doesn't shout. The person who's been through heartbreak but still chooses love, the one who's faced loss but still chooses gratitude, the one who's been betrayed but still chooses peace, that's the kind of strength that can't be faked or performed. It's forged in pain, refined in waiting, and revealed through endurance. When everything falls apart, that kind of strength whispers, keep going. When others doubt, it says, I know who I am. When fear tries to take over, it responds, I've been here before and I know how to survive. Quiet endurance isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's the awareness that you don't have to fight every battle loudly. Some victories are won in silence through patience, consistency, and faith. It's learning that sometimes your greatest power is in your restraint, in your refusal to be moved by chaos, and in your decision to protect your peace. The loud strength might get the applause, but the quiet one gets the victory that lasts. You don't have to announce your resilience for it to be real. You don't need to shout to prove your worth. The way you keep going in silence, the way you keep your heart soft in a hard world, the way you keep believing even when nothing makes sense, that's what makes you strong. Quiet endurance teaches you to trust the process and to find power in stillness. It's the kind of strength that can't be shaken because it doesn't depend on approval or recognition. It lives within you, steady and sure, guiding you through every storm. You may not see it every day, but every time you choose peace over panic, hope over fear, and patience over pressure, you're proving that your strength isn't loud, it's lasting. You've survived more than you give yourself credit for. Sometimes you get so caught up in what's not working, in what you haven't achieved yet, that you forget the battles you've already fought and won. You forget the nights you cried yourself to sleep, but still woke up and faced the day. You forget the times you were sure you wouldn't make it, but somehow you did. Survival doesn't always look graceful. Sometimes it looks like crawling. Sometimes it looks like holding on by a thread, but the point is, you made it through. You have a record of resilience that you rarely acknowledge because you're too focused on what's next instead of recognizing how far you've already come. You've walked through storms that tried to destroy your peace, situations that broke your heart, seasons that made you question your strength, and yet here you are, still standing, still showing up, still hoping for better even after disappointment. That's not weakness, that's courage. It's easy to underestimate your own power when you're in survival mode. You don't realize that what you're doing takes strength. You think you're barely hanging on, but what you're really doing is enduring. You're building something inside you that no one can take away, the ability to keep moving forward when everything in you wants to stop. You've faced loss and rejection and still found a way to keep loving. You've been broken and still found a way to rebuild. You've been misunderstood and still chosen to show grace. That's not small. That's not accidental. That's strength showing up in its quietest, most powerful form. The world may not see the battles you fight within, but those are the victories that define you. Every time you've pushed through fear, every time you've chosen peace over chaos, every time you've let go when holding on hurt too much, you've proven that your strength is real. You're stronger than the moments that tried to silence you. You're greater than the seasons that made you doubt your worth. You've survived heartbreaks that could have hardened you, but instead they softened you and made you more aware. You've faced disappointments that could have closed your heart, but instead they deepened your wisdom. You've learned that even in pain you can still grow. You've learned that you don't need perfect circumstances to find your power. You just need to keep going. Survival is not just about existing, it's about evolving through everything that tried to stop you. You don't give yourself enough credit because you measure your strength by how easy the journey feels, not by how faithfully you've walked through the hard parts. You think that because you still feel fear or pain or uncertainty, you're not strong. But strength doesn't mean the absence of struggle. It means you keep showing up in spite of it. Every obstacle you've faced has revealed something new about your capacity. You've discovered that you can endure more than you imagined, love deeper than you thought possible, and rise faster than anyone expected. Take a moment to look back, not with regret, but with gratitude. Everything that didn't break you built you. Everything that hurt you taught you. Every closed door redirected you. Every season of loneliness showed you what you could handle alone. You are not fragile. You are forged. The weight you've carried has shaped your character. The scars you wear are proof that pain doesn't get the final say. You've made it through things that were meant to destroy you, and that means you carry a power that can face whatever comes next. You've survived things others may never understand, and that's not something to hide. It's something to honor. You are living proof that resilience is real. You faced what scared you, endured what drained you, and still have the strength to hope, to love, to try again. You may not see yourself as powerful, but every breath, every step, every time you rise after falling, you are proving otherwise. You've survived more than you give yourself credit for, and that means you are far stronger than you've ever realized. Breaking didn't destroy you, it revealed your resilience. The moments that felt like your end were actually the beginning of something new being built inside you. You thought the breaking would finish you, but it introduced you to a version of yourself that you didn't even know existed. It stripped away what was fragile and revealed what was unshakable. You learned through pain what no amount of comfort could have ever taught you, that you can bend without breaking, that you can lose everything familiar and still find a way to rise again. Every time life broke a piece of you, it exposed the power that was hidden beneath the surface. When everything fell apart, you didn't. You may have felt like you were crumbling, but somehow you held on. You faced disappointment, heartbreak, and loss, and yet you're still standing. That's not weakness, that's resilience. Resilience isn't about pretending nothing hurts. It's about refusing to let the hurt have the final word. It's about saying, "Yes, I cried. Yes, I struggled, but no, I didn't quit." The breaking season was painful because it forced you to let go of what was no longer meant for you. It peeled back the layers of who you thought you were so you could step into who you're meant to become. You learned that strength doesn't always feel strong. Sometimes it feels like survival. Sometimes it feels like taking one breath at a time when everything inside you wants to give up. But that's where resilience is born, in the quiet moments of endurance, in the tears that no one sees, in the decision to get up again when life knocks you down. You didn't come out of the breaking the same person you were before, and that's the point. The version of you that existed before the pain couldn't have carried the purpose that's now being revealed through it. The breaking taught you things about yourself that peace never could. It taught you how to trust your strength, how to release control, and how to find beauty in the rebuilding. It showed you that your worth isn't defined by what you lose, but by how you rise after loss. You discovered that healing isn't about erasing the pain, it's about transforming it into wisdom. You became more discerning, more compassionate, more grounded. The breaking didn't make you bitter, it made you brave. You've learned how to move through pain with purpose, how to navigate chaos with calm, how to stand tall even when your knees are shaking. You realize that you can survive endings and still find new beginnings. What was meant to destroy you actually revealed how much power you have within. The cracks didn't weaken you, they let the light in. Every time you thought you couldn't handle it, you did. Every time you thought you were finished, you found a way to keep going. That's resilience, being able to rebuild from the rubble, to believe again after being broken, to choose hope even when everything feels uncertain. The breaking wasn't evidence of your failure, it was evidence of your strength. Now, when you look back at those moments, you don't just see pain, you see proof, proof that you were built for more than you thought, proof that your spirit is unbreakable, proof that even in the darkest places, there's a spark inside you that refuses to go out. The breaking shaped you into someone wiser, stronger, and more grounded in truth. You didn't just survive, you evolved. You rose from what tried to destroy you with new vision, new strength, and a deeper understanding of who you are. The breaking didn't take you out. It revealed that you were never fragile to begin with. You were resilient all along. You just needed the breaking to see it. Pain is not weakness. It's proof you're still fighting. So often, people believe that feeling pain means they've failed somehow, that hurting means they aren't strong enough, faithful enough, or brave enough. But pain is not a sign of defeat. It's evidence that your heart is still beating, that your spirit is still alive, that your fight is still active. You only feel pain in places that are still capable of healing. You wouldn't hurt if you were broken beyond repair. The very fact that you feel it means there's something inside of you still pushing to survive, still reaching for light, still holding on to hope even when everything around you says to let go. Pain has a purpose. It's the body's way of saying something is shifting, something is growing, something is changing. Growth hurts because it stretches you beyond the limits you've known. It takes you into unfamiliar territory and asks you to trust the process even when it stings. Pain means you're in motion, that you're being stretched beyond your comfort zone, that something within you is expanding. You cannot evolve without feeling some discomfort. So instead of seeing pain as punishment, learn to see it as proof you're still in the fight, still in the process, still becoming who you were always meant to be. There are seasons when the pain feels unbearable, when every step feels like a battle. But even in those moments, you are proving your strength. You are proving that your spirit can withstand pressure and still not collapse. You are proving that you have the courage to confront what hurts instead of running from it. That's not weakness. It's bravery in its purest form. Weakness is giving up. Pain is continuing to stand when it would be easier to quit. You might cry, you might question, you might even stumble, but you're still here. And that's what matters. Pain is also a mirror. It reflects where healing is needed, where boundaries must be drawn, where change is overdue. It teaches you how to listen to yourself, how to care for yourself, how to protect your peace. It reveals where you've been pouring too much energy into things that drain you, and where you need to redirect your focus. Every ache, every tear, every moment of frustration is an invitation to go deeper within yourself, to confront what's broken and to rebuild it stronger. Pain is a teacher, and though its lessons are hard, they are the ones that shape your character the most. It's easy to confuse pain with weakness because it brings you to your knees, but what you do while you're down there is what defines you. You learn to pray, to breathe, to reflect, to rise differently. Pain humbles you, but it also empowers you. It strips away illusions and brings you face to face with your truth. And once you've faced it, you realize that pain didn't destroy you, it refined you. It burned away the parts of you that were holding you back and left behind the strength that can carry you forward. Every time you've felt broken but kept moving, every time you've wanted to give up but didn't, every time you've been in pain but chose to keep believing, that was proof of your fight. You are still here, still trying, still hoping, and that's not weakness. That's strength in motion. Pain may bend you, but it cannot break what's built to endure. It may shake you, but it cannot silence your purpose. You are living proof that even through pain, you can keep walking, keep growing, keep becoming. The hurt doesn't define you, it refines you, and one day you'll look back and realize that the pain that once brought you to your knees was the same pain that gave you wings. True power is built in moments of persistence, not perfection. We live in a world obsessed with flawless outcomes, where people only celebrate what looks polished and put together. But the truth is, strength is not developed in the moments when everything is going smoothly. It's forged in the moments when everything feels like it's falling apart, and you choose to keep going anyway. Perfection doesn't teach you endurance, persistence does. It's easy to keep pushing when things are working out, but it's in the quiet, unseen moments of struggle, when no one is watching, that your real power is being built. Those are the moments that shape your character and anchor your resilience. Persistence doesn't always look impressive. Sometimes it's just waking up and trying again after a setback. Sometimes it's holding onto faith when everything around you feels uncertain. Sometimes it's taking one small step forward when your heart feels heavy and your mind is tired. It's not about having everything figured out. It's about refusing to quit even when you don't. Power is not in pretending to have it all together. It's in showing up despite the cracks, the doubts, and the pain. That's where growth lives, and that's where strength is born. Perfection can be a trap because it convinces you that you're only valuable when you're flawless. But the truth is, your flaws are what make your strength authentic. Power is developed through the process of falling and getting back up, through learning from mistakes and finding wisdom in the wounds. Every time you persist through a difficult season, you're adding layers to your strength. Layers of experience, faith, and grit. That's something perfection can never teach you. You can't become powerful without persistence, because persistence requires you to dig deeper than your comfort zone, to push past fear, and to trust that what you're doing matters even when the results aren't visible yet. When you focus on perfection, you become afraid of failure, but persistence teaches you that failure is not final, it's feedback. It's part of the journey, not the end of it. Every stumble becomes a lesson, every delay becomes a teacher, every disappointment becomes a seed of growth. The people who reach the highest levels of purpose are not the ones who never fall, they're the ones who keep getting back up. They understand that true power isn't built overnight. It's developed one step, one decision, one comeback at a time. Perfection demands performance. Persistence builds faith. When you're chasing perfection, you live for approval. But when you choose persistence, you start to live for growth. You stop needing validation because you know the process itself is shaping you. You begin to trust that even the hard days are part of something bigger. You learn that the strength you need tomorrow is being built in the persistence you show today. Every challenge you endure is preparing you for the next level. Every not yet moment is strengthening your patience and teaching you how to stand firm when life tests you. The most powerful people aren't the ones who have never been broken. They're the ones who learned how to keep building while broken. They learned how to turn pressure into power, how to find peace in the process, how to keep believing even when everything says give up. That's what persistence does. It builds something unshakable within you. It creates a power that doesn't depend on circumstances, applause, or perfection. It's the kind of power that whispers, I may not be there yet, but I'm not done yet either. So don't chase perfect, chase progress. Don't demand instant results, trust consistent effort. Every small act of persistence is building something mighty inside you. One day, you'll look back and realize that your power was never in how perfect your journey looked. It was in how faithfully you kept walking through every imperfect step. You are the evidence that survival can look like grace. There's something powerful about realizing that after everything you've been through, you're still standing, not bitter, not broken beyond repair, but carrying a quiet strength that speaks louder than words ever could. You've walked through storms that could have destroyed you, yet somehow you came out softer, wiser, and stronger. That's grace. It's not about pretending the pain didn't happen. It's about allowing it to transform you instead of harden you. Survival isn't always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's the simple act of showing up with a heart that's still open after life tried to close it. That's what grace looks like in motion. When people look at you, they might not know the full story, the nights you cried yourself to sleep, the prayers you whispered in silence, the moments you questioned if you'd ever make it out of the valley. But your presence, your peace, your persistence, they tell a story all their own. You are living proof that it's possible to walk through fire and not smell like smoke, to face heartbreak and still choose love, to feel fear and still move forward anyway. That's grace carrying you when your own strength ran out. Grace doesn't erase the battle, it redeems it. It takes what was meant to break you and uses it to build something beautiful within you. There's a quiet kind of power in surviving with grace because it defies the logic of pain. The world expects people to become bitter, angry, or hopeless after deep wounds, but when you come out with compassion still in your heart, with empathy still in your soul, with faith still intact, that's something divine. It means you've allowed your suffering to deepen you, not destroy you. Grace doesn't mean you didn't struggle. It means you learned how to struggle differently. You learned to find meaning in the mess, purpose in the pain, and strength in surrender. Survival with grace is not denial, it's transformation. It's the ability to say, yes, I was hurt, but I am still here, and I still believe in better. You are the evidence that endurance and elegance can coexist. You've faced moments that should have left you bitter, yet you've chosen to rise with peace instead of vengeance, patience instead of panic. That's not weakness, that's spiritual strength. Survival with grace means learning how to hold your power quietly, how to let peace become your weapon, how to move forward without needing to prove anything to anyone. You no longer need validation because your life itself is the testimony. You're not who you were before the storm, and that's the point. You're stronger, softer, more grounded, and more aware of who you are. Sometimes grace doesn't look like a miracle, it looks like endurance. It looks like breathing through the pain, forgiving what you can't forget, and choosing to hope again even after disappointment. You may not realize it, but someone is watching your resilience and learning from it. Your survival story is inspiring someone else's faith. The way you continue to stand after all you've faced is proof that grace is real, that healing is possible, that strength can coexist with vulnerability. You're not just surviving, you're teaching others that brokenness can be beautiful when it's touched by grace. You've become living evidence that survival isn't just about making it through, it's about becoming more whole in the process. Grace gave you the ability to turn pain into purpose, wounds into wisdom, and scars into stories. You carry the kind of strength that doesn't have to shout. It simply exists, steady and unshaken. You are proof that even after the hardest chapters, beauty can still bloom. You didn't just survive, you transformed, and now your life speaks for itself. A quiet, radiant testimony that survival can indeed look like grace.